Hello and welcome to the Prerna Patha, the podcast of the Karnataka State Obstetrics and Gynecology Society, KSOGA. And we are your hosts, Dr. Kasturi Donimat and Dr. Aruna Murlidhar. And it's a true pleasure to bring you conversations that inspire, educate, and empower. We thank our wonderful president of KSOGA, Dr. Durgadas Asranna, for his gracious presence and his thorough encouragement. With that in mind, today we embark on a truly fascinating journey into the profound connection between mind, body, and the baby. We're exploring a concept that's gaining vital recognition: how the emotional and psychological landscape of pregnancy can shape not just the birthing experience, but also the very foundation of a child's life. Joining us is a remarkable obstetrician and gynecologist from Gurgaon who is at the forefront of this transformative approach. We have with us Dr. Neetika Sopti, a distinguished practitioner from Fortis Hospital, FMRI to be precise, renowned for her pioneering work with the Virtue Baby program and as a dedicated birth psychology educator. Dr. Neetika's insights promise to illuminate how we can nurture not just healthy pregnancies, but also truly virtuous beginnings for our children. Get ready to shift your perspective on prenatal care. Let's dive in. Welcome, Dr. Neetika. And very, very happy that we could have you. And, thanks for your valuable time. Over
Thank
to
you so
Dr.
much.
Kasturi.
Yeah, thank you. It's really a moment of pride and privilege to have Dr. Nitika Sopti. So since long we were waiting for this occasion and this event. So just few words about her. She is a very senior consultant gynecologist and additional director, and she has won many awards to her. One is appreciation award from APHA Foundation, that is Virtue Baby program, and also Sushrut Award from Max Healthcare in the year 2017, and DL Shah Quality Award in reduction of C-section rate from Quality Council of India, and Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Award for her project of Virtue Baby. So it's a really proud moment to have you. It's very, very interesting how it can impact the babies, not just now, the future also. So we are really very happy to have you here on this platform. Now I request our president, Dr. Durgadas Asrana.
Warm greetings to the family of KSOGA. Today, amongst us, we have Dr. Nitika Sopti, a renowned obstetrician from Gurugram, specializing in birth psychology and prenatal bonding. Pregnancy should be a most exciting and precious moment in the woman's life. The entire journey of pregnancy should be filled with happiness and discipline. But the present days, the pregnant mothers are filled with anxiety, stress, fear, and so many negative emotions. The sacred seed should not be grown in such an adverse environment. To navigate the mother's journey through pregnancy, along with her husband, her whole family, Dr. Nitika Sopti has coined a concept of virtue baby. It is not virtuous baby, it is virtue baby.
Yes, sir.
Pregnant mothers should take this pregnancy as a lifetime project, taking care of her food, emotions, behavior, and ensure a harmonious relationship in the family, which will eventually lead to the birth of an angel, the virtue baby, a gift to the whole world. Now, the science has also proved the story of Abhimanyu, Prahalad, or Ashtavakra to be true. That is, the child is shaped inside the mother's womb. So, the pioneering fantastic work of Dr. Nitika Sopti should spread across the whole country so that our future is filled with virtuous people. I invite Dr. Nitika Sopti to enlighten us in today's evening. Thank you. Over to Dr. Nitika Sopti.
All right. So I think we will start, Dr. Neetika. For listeners who may be new to your work, could you share your journey into obstetrics and gynecology and what led you to birth psychology and Virtue Baby program?
Thank you, Dr. Aruna. And it is a real pleasure to actually be with everyone today here and with so many people who will be there always, because all of us as obstetricians, we have that real passion. You know, what drives us coming at night is that we're holding God's life in our hands. And in this world, we are the first to hold that life. So these hands have to be so connected and so pure and so healing. That journey is really become so beautiful with this program of mine. I never thought that I will create something like this. In all honesty, I was just feeling, why is everybody getting so tense on such a natural process? Things are so good, things are so easy. Still, they have that fear and that doubt in themselves. So I started reading about it. As doctors, we are all the time looking for research works, research papers. I said, somebody would have done a lot of work on this, stress. What does this do to the baby? Because when I started my, spiritual self journey, I found that I changed as a person as I was meditating, as I was doing some discourses, and I felt a shift happening in my soul, meaning it became lighter, it became easy. So I said, what if the mother is also that calm and happy? So even the child's soul inside will change. If I can change at the age of 36, 37, I was at that time, in that damn place where my son is in 10th and my daughter is in 7th, and they are studying, they are not studying, and what they are going to do. We are in that whole juggle. As obstetricians also, we have that part to handle. So when I started to read about it, I came across this birth psychology. And then I started reading about it. And then I actually found out that there is an association which is catering to just this birth psychology. And then I discussed, and then as I was reading, no, it took me back to my own personal, you know, obstetric journey, my pregnancy journey. And that was where it just struck me. And me and my husband, we said, we need to bring it out to the world. My husband, he's a non medico, but he said, Nitika, this is so real. What we have done, you've done in these 9 months. You are seeing so much of that in your son, in our son. So nobody should do things which are not right. Nobody should do things which they know can cause a little change in their child's personality. Because whatever I was seeing, I was reading. And Dr. Aruna, Dr. Kasturi, I even made a small movie which I've put on my YouTube.
Okay.
I did it in 2022, my 8-year journey of Virtue Baby.
Right.
So that, people can also, I wanted it to be shared to all my patients so that they feel it is real. So that is what led to this, program of Virtue Baby, wherein I tried to just tell all my patients that what you need to do, because everybody wants to practice Garbh Sanskar. They know what is Garbh Sanskar, but they don't know how. As doctors, we want our patients to be happy and easy. But what they should do? They know that they need to be happy, but is it easy to be happy with so much happening around us? They know, every parent knows that they need to be easy, calm. So I tried to formulate a few workshops. I tried to formulate a few reading material, some knowledge I used to share with them. Then I said, how do I give knowledge? At that time, nobody was talking about YouTube. I mean, YouTube in 2013, 14, I at least didn't know that there will be a channel or something. I just first I thought, let us make a movie so that people get little, they cling on to it, that what is it, what they should do. So I tried to enact a, real life scenario that they got pregnant and then they were fighting and then they were happy and then they were, it made like a 20-minute film. So I said, let's put it there. This is the way it started collecting. There was no such plan when I talk to people, they say, what was your plan? What was your marketing idea? How did you want to put it across the world? I said, I didn't plan. I just did what my patients needed. I just did what I read and I saw in my personal experience, and I started on it. And then and we are at a very important part in our life, Dr. Aruna, Dr. Kasturi, because we all have gone through that phase ourselves. And then when we read about facts, when we are all parents and we are doing so much of work, we can experiment and it comes on to us naturally. We can see the outcomes in our patients because there is a lot of human resource in India, where here we are at hands full here. So this Virtue Baby is basically a personal and professional experience which is giving us results even today. And I'm sure that with everybody with us, it is going to be like a Virtue Baby movement, not a concept or a program.
Any some story, whether either personal or patient story, which inspired you to start Virtue Baby? What
Yeah.
inspired you to
See, what
start it?
happened when I was reading, no,
Mm.
I happened to I became a member of that association. So 2014, when I started reading about it, then I joined that association. It is known as APHA, Association of Prenatal Perinatal Psychology and Health. So then I joined their 2-year online course in 2015. First, I read for 6 months, I made my notes, and then I started practicing it on my patients also. And in my own personal experience also, it just clicked to me because I had a very tough pregnancy journey. I was emotionally in a very tough state. And I always, whenever I address to all the gynecologists or doctors, I said, please remember your journey of your child. And if you have your mothers with you, please ask about your conception and pregnancy journey. I have my antenatal card now. I have put a block in it. Womb history. We'll be talking about it 5 years from now, just like we're talking about birth psychology. Because when I started talking about birth psychology, people didn't understand. I mean, they used to say, are you a psychologist or an obstetrician? Now the era has come about womb wellness, womb histories. We are connected to our grandfathers and grandmothers and our past generations. So it's very important for us to know our birth history and conception history, if possible, of course. And our children's, we will be immediately able to do it, understand it, remember it, and heal it. That is the catch point. Because with my son, my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer and she was extremely sick. I had just joined my PG. I got married early because my mother was too unwell. Then, as soon as I got married, in a few months, I got pregnant, and immediately my PG result came out. So, I was a very, very young, anxious mother, the youngest in my batch, and a very anxious person because I was not connected to my child and pregnancy. I was connected to my mother, and it was also a fear going on. I will lose her. Will she see my baby? Or, I mean, it was like a constant thing. And 16 weeks, I had full blown preterm labor. 16, 17 weeks pregnancy, everybody thought that this baby is out. Efface, cervix, everything. I have those records. So right now I can see it. So I had those records also. So 10 days I was on Duvadlon drip. No idea about stresses leading on to it. Nobody in the hospital told me because my father-in-law, he was a pediatrician and he was general secretary of IMA. He's also a BC Roy Award winner. So it was like I was the most VIP patient there in Gangaram. And we were doing, I took antibiotics for almost 7 months at that time because preterm labor. I mean, we are all medical. And I never ever questioned myself because when he was 18 years, then I am knowing everything. Never anything was told to me that stress will lead on to it. And I also didn't know for 18 years. But then what I wanted was that when I started reading about it, that those things flashed back. Then I saw my papers again. What had happened? So I was on rest, 12, 15 days I was on Duvadlon drip, and then I took all kinds of medications and everything. And then my PG seat also came. And then in 6th month, not 6th month, 30, 32 weeks I joined because by that things had settled. And my son was born at 35 plus weeks only. Immediately, I think 3 weeks I would have worked because otherwise the seat would have gone. This is the way we work. Our biological clocks are so disconnected. I was not connected to my son that much. I never had the time in PG to take him out because 75% of time I was with my PG and 25% of time, whatever was left, I was with my mother. And I think 1% time I was with my son. I'm being very honest and I share it on all platforms. And if that would not have been done, probably I would never have been able to counsel so many mothers. So many of my patients, they come to me, and I don't know whether it is the universe which attracts me to them or them to me. So many of them have their mothers who are having treatment of breast cancers. And they are crying in my room. But I just tell them now, you will see things, we have to process our grief. There is no problem. But we have to be connected to our child also, side by side. Because there are two souls and two generations which we are really, really connecting on. So with that, this whole thing was happening. When I was reading all those, I was attending their lectures. They used to have every Monday live. So and they had about, for 2 years, every Monday live. So I was like in that whole zone of doing my own work. 9 to 10 Monday, I was with APA people. And they were mostly all psychologists, and they were psychiatrists and a few obstetricians and a few neonatologists also in that group. So that this is how, this personal thing. And when my son was born, he had asthma. He used to get up at night. He used to do sleepwalking. He used to have panic attacks. I had feeding issues with him. I mean, it was everything what they told me. When he went to school, he was in the best school, DPS. I'm also from Delhi Public School. I'm a dip side. My husband also is a dip side. And I actually used to feel, how can me, a topper, give rise to a child who doesn't even do anything? He comes back with empty books, empty notebooks. How is it possible? But I did everything. No, but I didn't know. I wish somebody would have just stopped and told me, what are you doing to your child? But we were also unaware. Today, sir, we are very aware. We know about what stress can do. We have medical research. 2017-18, we have papers about brain connectivity, neuroplasticity, trauma-based care we are doing. We know about the polyvagal theory of Stephen Porges. Read about all these things. Peter Levine theory of trauma. And this was true with my son. The trauma which I carried, I passed it on. And that one thing which actually struck me, whenever I used to go for my duties, no, at night, he always used to ask me, Mummy, have you reached? Mummy, have you reached? Why will I not reach? Are you okay? You take care. God, give me a call when you are coming back. Give me a call when you reach. That fear of losing. That emotion was so strong. I never correlated it. Dr. Aruna, I never ever imagined that this was the whole, how our mind and thoughts, they go into the subconscious of our child's mind. And we all really need to explore our journeys also. Because till we heal ourselves, these healing hands will not be able to heal those mothers and children who are destined to come through these hands. Our
Yeah,
mind
true.
only heals. So this is the personal experience, Dr. Kasturi, which led me and my husband to take this whole knowledge out to my patients and of course to every medical person who wants to join.
It's very true.
Amazing. Yeah,
Very.
transforming your own personal journey and your lessons and imparting it to the society. Um, hats off to you. No, but what is this Virtue Baby program? How is it structured? And who is it for? Could you please explain that a bit?
See,
Yeah, the please go ahead.
so the Virtue Baby program, basically it's a program wherein it is basically for patients to use. I have created some material for them to be using it on a daily basis. I have workshops, and right now I have started making a, audio pregnancy course, a preconception course, which I probably by next year, January, I want it to be out like an audio book. Because, when I started about it, no, Dr. Aruna, I just started with YouTube videos. I used to take videos and I have more than 600 videos on my channel, and I have made playlists. You know, bonding, meditation with pregnancy, bonding with your baby, stress during pregnancy, yoga and meditation. So whatever, diet during pregnancy. So whatever they need, they can pick and choose. Common frequently asked questions in pregnancy. But then my patient said, "Ma'am, we want to actually do things that you tell us to do every day." So then it struck me, I'll give them a system. So first and foremost, I made a all for baby book. Now you have many books available where you can record your pregnancy journey and everything, but I created it in 2015. So when you write, we have to understand this one very important fact, that the child's brain and mind, it is very sensitive to these two, four, five experiences. One is language. Language has two things, word and emotion. And a child can learn over 5,000 words in one day. It's hearing. They did a study in Harvard. They put audiometers all across. They actually did it. They did it somewhere in about 2000, no, 1998, 2000, when Dr. David Chamberlain, who is the father of birth psychology, he's no more, but he was a great man who did all this research and told us that Abhimanyu is real. That Abhimanyu actually could hear. And when the mother slept, Abhimanyu could not hear. So the mother is a very important transmitter. If the mother is awake, he could hear everything. The moment mother slept, transmission is cut. So when they put those audiometers and they counted how many words are spoken in a full 24-hour session, they counted it as 5,000 words. And in that, only a maid used to come and go for an hour, and there were only 2 people. In our houses, if we put that, I think we will have multifold. We are only talking and people are coming and going. India is a high resource country. So what potential we have to make our children learn in the womb. In the second and the third, in the first and the second trimester, the most important fact that we need to know is that there are 250,000 neurons which are forming every minute. Every minute. And when the child is actually born, he is born with about 100 billion neurons and 300 trillion interconnections, which is just as much as the stars in the galaxy. 300 trillion synapses ke saath we are bringing our children when they are born. What are we joining them with? With anger, with love? And we know that language is the first and foremost way of connection. So conversation, that is what I first and foremost thing which I understood in birth psychology. Our language needs to be very, very beautiful. So when the first time a patient comes to me, I said, just remember one thing. Use the most beautiful and loving language in these 9 months to come.
So, yeah.
Your mind will automatically settle because that's what is creating a big impact on our child's mind. The second thing, and language also with word and emotion both. So both have a value.
Yeah. So
The second thing which I tell them is music. Music has a biology. There is a lot of role of mantras in our life. There is a lot of role of sound. ऐसे ही थोड़ी ना कि mothers were, singing lullabies. So many synapses are created with music. So this is all scientific. In Mexico, they did a very interesting study. They gave 50 minutes of relaxing music to about a group of 50 women. And they actually calculated random mothers, 50 women listening to music every day. And then they compared the risk of autism. Because there is a lot of mild autism, which is coming nowadays. Honestly, we are all now, I feel and we all also, I think, are going to become autistic very soon, all of us, by visual autism. Seeing the phone all the time, we are visually going to have autism because we are all the time doing it. And it's not just the children, even we are doing it. So risk of autism, they said, it actually decreases by 4-fold if you are just listening to calming music. And and another point was why we could say that they are listening to music, because the language and the music is playing such an important role, because they did a study between German babies and French babies. They said German babies, they are very happy with easy music, but French babies, they have a very big peaking music. They are used to it, so they become more reactive when there are high Vivaldi notes, because that's the way they are, because the child is understanding and learning everything, that is so and we can now correlate also. With languages, our children are more easy and happy with their languages. So everything is very scientific. It was already there with us, but we never actually researched on it. That was the whole thing. So when I understood one is language, the other is music, then there is the most important thing is thought process of the mother. How is she perceiving pregnancy? Is she considering it as a safe space, or she's always thinking the pregnancy is going to be challenging? Pregnancy, is my baby okay? So many times our patients will come and say, "Ma'am, everything is okay. Will I have a normal, healthy pregnancy?" Very rarely now they come and say, "Ma'am, will I have a normal delivery?" All they want is that the pregnancy has to be good. And then what is, labor comes later. Right now, they are so worried about the health of the baby. So, what is these things once they get connected? So, communication is a very big connection. So, that is why we thought that if the patients, they start talking to the baby, that is going to create the best, you know, feeling for their pregnancy, and that is also going to create a change in their brain connectivity and synapses. So I made this, all these 3 books wherein I first said you write to the baby. When you write, you have to think, and when you write, those connections they become deeper. And when you have to write, you need time to write. I can talk endlessly, but when I have to write something to somebody, I need time. I need to connect with that person, then I can write. So first was this book. Then it came, then I said reading, then I made a storybook that they should read stories. And that storybook is a very different storybook. I said 40 weeks, 40 values, because my project name was Virtues. So I wanted children to have values. Because for a parent, they don't care what about the statistics and about the test. They want, "Ma'am, what should I do that my baby is healthy?" I said, we take care of the body and you take care of the baby's mind. So then that was a storybook, and I told them that you read this, Monday you read this, Tuesday you do this, because that story had a story, then a moral, then a meditation, then an activity that the entire family should give that value to the child. And then supposing it is love. How are you going to use love in your life? Discuss. So just 1 week, one story. Just practice love for 1 week. So these are little tools because our soul needs, otherwise it gets bored. Then I made my patient said, "Ma'am, I want to know what is happening to my baby every week." Then I made the womb conversation book. Where the mother is talking to the baby week wise, week 1, week 2, week 3. I'll share those but the videos also, mothers reading to the baby. Ma'am, I cry when I read that book. They have tears in their eyes. And I always tell them, and I said, if you cry while reading or while talking to anybody or while sharing an experience, and if the other person also, has tears, that means that we connected to the universal energy. You can only cry when you connect to the universal energy and source. You will never cry in labor. You will scream in labor. Crying always happens when you are connected. So this way, and it didn't end. 2, 3 years back, one of my patients said, "Ma'am, I am only talking to the baby. My baby doesn't talk to me." So I reformed that womb conversation book. And I added that every week mother is talking to the baby, and then the baby is also talking to the mother. "Mummy, I am okay. I have made, my teeth are coming. My limb buds are emerging. I am feeling so happy. I'm waiting to love you, kiss you. I'm waiting to be in your arm." All these things really help because this is what they want. And they only gave me that insight and passion. So, when you talk about what is this Virtue Baby program, it is about workshops. It is about the YouTube channel which I have. It is about the videos which I create. And it is about these tools in which we have these 3 books. They are displayed also at the back. These are the 3: Virtue Baby storybook, Womb Conversation book, and the All for Baby book. And I have made about 100 meditation commentaries, affirmations, audio and video, which are available on pregnancy meditations. On my Virtue Baby store, these are things which are there. So whoever wants, they can use it.
How
Yeah.
is it different from hypnobirthing or
Yeah.
mindfulness based program,
Dr.
prenatal
Kasturi,
classes?
see, in prenatal classes, we've all taken prenatal classes. Yoga is very important, as I said, because that is going to calm our mind, make our body more flexible and malleable. Also, this is going to have a better sleep. So all this is very important, but we are not here. I talk about more about in your normal daily routine. How are you going to integrate wellness, not just at the time when you're doing a class or doing a yoga, because there is in all the others, no, that communication by the parent doesn't happen. I'll share a very beautiful experience with you because, there was one couple who used to come to me, and the girl was a little on the heavier side, must be 9800, and not at all keen for a normal delivery. Just wanted, I want a pregnancy, and she was not very connected. Although I used to tell my patients, everybody who comes to me, I tell, she was okay, ma'am, I can't connect, I can't talk, no, till I don't see people, I can't talk. So how can I talk to my baby? But the husband used to come, he used to say, ma'am, I will talk, I can talk. If I talk, will the baby hear? I said, yes, of course, the baby will hear. No problem. It was a thing, and I think he took the books and he was reading to the baby, and it never crossed my mind. She finally came one day in labor, and she was just not feeling for a normal. She said, "No, ma'am, I cannot do a normal delivery. I have no threshold." I said, "We'll give you epidural," because she was very favorable. So I said, and I gave her an epidural, and her husband somehow managed her. I have no idea about the books, whether he's reading, whether he's not reading, because we never talked after that. And as soon as the baby was born, when the baby is born, we just put the baby on the mother as a usual practice. And it's always that the baby's face is facing the mother. We never put it like this. Generally, it always happens that we put it like this. With our, so I put the baby on the mother, and the mother was too much in pain and everything. No, she was not connected. And he used to call, the father used to he had named the baby as Bunny. So he was standing there and he said, Bunny, how are you? Because I have always say in my workshops, you should be reading to the baby. You should be talking the most beautiful language. So he started, hello my little bunny, आप आ गए, आपको मैंने कितनी स्टोरी सुनाई, आपको याद है आपको लव की स्टोरी. I had no idea that he was reading books. And I cannot believe I didn't photograph that child's head tilted from the mother to the father. The child actually moved. It is now 5 years of that incident. It's fresh here. I cannot forget how that child moved and how that child connected to the father. Looked through the eyes. And the child said, and the father said, ma'am, used to read every day to him, to my baby. Alicia never used to read, but I used to read. That day I found out whatever it is a fact. See, in medical practice, now we are always going on evidence. And when evidence, we take the percentage. But I have learned one thing in these last 10 years. Evidence is not if 100 people have something. Evidence is also if you see that one case and it triggers an insight into you. We call it a miracle, we call it a coincidence, but it's also evidence that tells us that yes, this works. So this is what I have learned.
What an inspiring and heart warming story indeed. So yeah, you've made an impact in so many generations, and the mind body connections which form early in life,
Yes,
while the
yes,
baby is still in the womb, right? So
absolutely.
yeah, but coming to some objective evidence, what is
Yeah,
evidence that you have collected? What
yeah,
outcomes have you observed, clinical, psychological,
yeah.
and experiential, in the mothers, partners, and babies who've gone through the
Yeah,
program?
yeah. Actually, you know what, Dr. Aruna, first and foremost, no, I was when I started with this project, no, in 2018, 17 to 19, no, I collected my data because we started around 2014. And I made this, one Prarambh as my project name. So I started to, then I compared my cesarean rates in 13, 14, 15, 16. I mean, before 3 years before, and then 2 years after I started this project in 2015, and I started taking workshops and made the things by 16. So patients were using it. And I suddenly found that my cesarean rate started to drop. So that time I was with Max. So we actually did a project Praram, and we saw that the primi gravida NTSV rate, nullipara term single vertex, the NTSV rate in those 2 years for my patients was 18.2%. So the Quality Council of we applied for in the patient safety category to QCI, Quality Council of India, that we have a very low cesarean rate, and they selected me, and they published the paper, and then I gave a presentation, got a award also for that, the whole hospital in fact. So I had gone to receive that, and they asked me one question, ma'am, what did you do to have such a low cesarean rate? And I just told them, I didn't do anything. I just let mother and baby and the family connect, and it all happened naturally. We don't have to teach the body and mothers to get, to deliver normally. If they are connected, if they have confidence in themselves, if they are comfortable with their doctor, with their family, if there is harmony playing around, the bodies anyways know that they have to deliver naturally. It's only ours mind which is taking that tocophobia, that fear. And tocophobia is a very big problem, and we don't talk about it. We have to really humanize birth. We have to, and we only can do it as obstetrician. So that is what I said. I said, nothing to be done. Don't do anything. Just empower the mother in the family. The body will not automatically deliver. Because that calmness is very important for the progression of labor. Otherwise, I even learned in APA this one very important fact, that birth is a sequence. And any disruption in the mother in the 9 months, if it happens, whether it is relationship, whether it is work-life balance, whether it is any pregnancy-induced anxiety, it really disrupts the progress of labor. And I think as obstetrician, you tell me, Dr. Aruna, if when you do cesareans, what is the most common reason for doing a cesarean? Non-progress. For all of us, sir, it is non-progress of labor. The cervix will not open, the baby will not come down. The time I realized what they were talking in APA, that birth is a sequence from inlet to mid cavity to outlet to turnings. This, if you disrupt the sequence, if you disrupt the way labor is progressing, how do you disrupt? First is, we also disrupt. I'm being very honest. If I'm stressed out about some patient's medical condition, or I'm not connected to her too greatly, I disrupt. I only create a thought, यार मुझे इसकी normal नहीं करना. They are too complicated. So, because these disruptions happen through the mind. Dr. Michael Odent, anytime you have time, no, you just read about him. He's a French obstetrician. He always used to say that husband coached births are not going to be good, because the male body is not wired to support the wife generally. That is why they always used to have midwives. In our villages, they have those dais, and they don't do anything. And they're letting labor progress. And what they generally do, he said that if you are doing some like knitting or sewing or coloring, any repetitive action, if it is being done when the lady is delivering, that will create a calmness in that whole atmosphere. And by the mirror neuron theory, her hormones will also be balanced. She is connected but disconnected because she's not getting involved in the mind of the mother. She's having dim lights. It's never a well lighted, place. So I started practicing these small things. When they are in labor, all anxious people, I would say, please go. Either the mother is anxious or the mother-in-law is anxious, and you will realize. So you will see that disruption in the sequence will happen, and that patient will not progress. I will tell you a very recent example. I think it was in January, February. Very nice, thin lady. Very connected. I was 100% sure. I mean, I'm not even saying 99%, that she will deliver. She came in labor. Average baby, 2.9 or 3 kg. Nice effacement. Everything good. But only the head position was a little up, which is normal. So she should progress. I mean, there's some patients you are so clear, no, that the finding is so good, the mind is so good, the family is so good, everything is good. So there's no reason that she should not progress. She did not progress. I mean, it was like, I said, I don't know what is wrong. My baby is just not willing to descend. And there was no like an eccentrically placed head, which should have come down with such good pains. And patient was also so positive. I even gave her epidural. You know, they with epidural also they wonderfully progress. But that eccentrically asynclitic type of a head, no, it did not move in spite of the fact that in a roomy pelvis I could not take out a 2.8 kg, 9 kg baby. So, anyways, I did a cesarean. When I did a cesarean, I came to the room and after doing the cesarean in the evening, I came for the round and there was a lady sitting there. Honestly, I didn't know who that lady is because in Gurgaon, patients, mothers, mother-in-laws don't come too often. Gurgaon is they're very easy and they're very happy about husband, wife coming and they feel they're all knowledgeable because the parents are not even staying with them most probably. So I said, Rashi, I don't know what happened. Your baby's head didn't budge. It was placed so eccentrically that I had to do a cesarean. That lady just got up and said, Ma'am, my doctor also 32 years back said the same line when she came. That everything was favorable, but your child's head is so eccentrically placed that it could not come down. So they also, after taking me through so much of labor, did a cesarean just like you did for her. I said, oh God, how is it possible? Now, when you do these sections, no, you please go and talk to the mothers also. You will get a similar history. These are facts which are so strange, but they are true, Dr. Aruna. I know it is not easy to believe, but I am seeing it. And the more now I understand it, I see it all the more. So, objectively, if you see, I want to do a research, and now when I'm in Fortis, I would definitely, because they have a very big, psychiatry, neural, mental health department. And I have also taken out all those, childbirth experience questionnaires. Also, I did a small study about a group of 50 women, although I've not published it anywhere, that what does PMDD do? What is pregnancy-induced anxiety? Every mother should have a psychologist consult at least once in pregnancy. In the West, they say once every trimester, but I say only once in pregnancy. But we don't even have 1% of women going for it. And even if we say as obstetricians, they are not willing to do it. So the point is, objectively, if we see whatever evidence nature has given us, whatever evidence medical science has given us, it is very true. They have done quite a few studies, but I have not done any study except this cesarean study, for which that because we are more objective, with subjective things, no. I mean, having a psychologist with you backing up, doing the work, and we as obstetricians are always running here and there with 100 things on our mind. So this was very clear, and since then I have a very low cesarean rate. And honestly, I just do these workshops. I also tell my mothers to take a psychologist consult. They also they either do a hypnobirthing or a Lamaze class also. Some do a 4 class, some do about 3 hours. And a doula support also really helps with a normal delivery rate and with the patient satisfaction also. They feel good. And then next, I think we'll also talk about how the babies behave once the babies are out, because now we have about quite a few thousands of those couples who've practiced this and now their children are 7, 8.
Okay.
Very,
Yeah.
Wonderful.
very, very.
Pans out because it would be I think it would be very robust, the kind of numbers you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One
Dr.
thing we
Kasturi.
wanted to know, just how our cultural practices of our Indians, like
Hmm.
chanting, rituals, and then community
Yeah.
support, how it affects this.
Of course it is. That is what I said. The child's mind is dependent on all this. Chanting is help. See, any repetitive action. That is what I said. Any repetitive chant, any repetitive music, it will help, because what it does, it decreases the cortisol levels. It releases feel good hormones. This is science.
Yeah.
So that is why in our cultural practices, when this was done, it really helped mothers. There is one very good theory which is known as the polyvagal theory. In 1998, Dr. Stephen Porges, no, he published this theory of polyvagal theory. We all know about vagus nerve, no? We know about the dorsal vagus nerve, but there's also a ventral root coming of the vagus nerve, and that vagus nerve ventral root connects eye, ear, and heart. That effervent branch, that is a very important part of our whole system. We all know about sympathetic and parasympathetic. We know about the fight, flight. We know about the freeze response. This is sympathetic, freezes, parasympathetic, but there's also another important system in the middle. There's also a social engagement system. Now that system is activated maximum in the womb. And why? See, if I'm seeing you and talking, we get connected. Sometimes we don't even have to talk. We just see each other and we get connected. You can immediately make out that this person has a activated system. When the patient is sitting in front of you, you will be able to know. Because how calm you are you listening? Sometimes your patient is sitting there, you know that patient is not able to listen. He's not imbibing anything what you are saying.
Yeah.
So this, we as doctors, if we know this, that is the time that we can counsel our patients that it is so important to have that activated. Because there's so many synapses are being formed in this time. As I told you, no, when the child is born, you have 300 million synapses. And by the age of 3, 85% of your brain is all set and out.
Dr. Nitika, so are there any myths that you have to keep busting about birth psychology? What are the common myths that surround birth psychology that you often clarify? And how would a general, like obstetrician, gynecologist integrate birth psychology into a routine antenatal care? Like,
Yeah.
for example, you have about 10, 15 to 20 minutes consult. I know that you've got the virtue program, but for an obstetrician who's seeing patients in an OPD, 30, 40 patients, is there any
Yeah.
way, any tips and tricks that we can use?
See, what I basically tell everybody is that one thing is that first, when we sit seeing patients, we just have to, I amended myself at least. So we have to first see that we are well connected to our own self. It's me. And honestly, Dr. Aruna, if we are connected to ourselves, we have also gone through our journeys. Also, just heal our own mind and soul. And our own birth journey also, we should just, evaluate once. It will immediately connect you to your patient in a much better, in a more closer way. Why I am saying this? Because this entire journey it's an entire journey of connection and communication, pregnancy. There is no need for everybody to create a virtual baby program. If you tell your patients the power of communication and connection with their own people in the house, that will heal, at least make them more secure. It is so important. Everybody today, there are so many apps which are available. There is so many yoga people who are available to do yoga. I think 50% of our OPD is also preconception. When we talk about the obstetric load, so many patients, they want to know about their fertility potential. They come to us saying that they are not able to conceive. It is 6-8 months. People have lost the power to conceive naturally. Because we are taking care of the body, we are taking care of AMH, we are doing everything. And unexplained infertility is 65%. That statistics all of us anyways know. So how are we missing? What is the missing link? The missing link is we are not taking care of the mind and the soul. The subconscious mind is carrying so many things. It is difficult to conceive. People don't conceive today. It is filled with so much of stress and anxiety, not just related to pregnancy, also related to many things which are happening around us. So as an obstetrician, in those 15-20 minutes, we just need to tell them this one little line that you need to take care of your mind and soul. So please do all the ancient practices also. Give 20 minutes for your exercise. Do some self-talking. Follow principles of sleep hygiene so that you are not visually autistic, as all of us. And also, I tell them, even I am doing it for myself. When I talk to you, I also inspire myself to use it less. I also feel with my own self, also, I need to do that healing. And anyways, in fact, I made meditations for pregnancy. I made meditations for preconception. I made meditations for IVF. That when you are undergoing an IVF, what you need to listen before your egg retrieval, what you need to listen in the fertilization period, what you need to listen when the embryo transfer is done in those next 2 weeks following embryo transfer. At least the mind should be aligned with what the body is doing, no?
Interesting. Well,
There
okay.
are books, those 3 books which I have. There are pregnancy meditations, there are pre pregnancy meditations, blessing the womb, rest and sleep, bonding with your husband, preparing your mind and soul for conception, healing your body, healing your womb before conceiving. So I have made those, 25 meditations in Hindi as well as in English. So for IVF also I have created 11 meditations for improving the quality of egg, because our body will listen to our mind. Our body is going to manifest. So many times we would have seen patients will come and ask you, ma'am, my baby will not pass motion inside. No, my friend's baby passed motion, so she got a cesarean. I will not get a cesarean. And that patient will land up with meconium. It's just like when we are walking on a road and we say, I have not seen a red car. I want to buy a red car. Let me see if I have a red car. I will see. You will see so many red cars.
Manifesting, manifestations.
So that is what I have made these, these small little brackets. Even postpartum phase, the most neglected phase and the most important phase of a woman's life. It is most neglected. So many women actually crash in those 3 months emotionally. So I created meditations for postpartum also, or 25 meditations. What they need to listen to while feeding, what they need to listen to while massaging, how do they prepare for motherhood, how is the family, what is the role of family during this time. I even made a video on it, and I made a meditation. Please tell them to listen to it and do that for the mother and baby. So it is only we can at our end as obstetricians, we can give them knowledge, and we have a lot of experience, all of us, because we see it every day. But we don't have the time. Even I have created so much, I don't have the time to talk to everybody in detail. But at least I tell them to go, and then you see, and whatever you need, you take. It's there on the Virtue Baby store. And you just have to listen to it. You may not follow it, but listen to it.
Yeah, truly, truly inspiring. How enlightening, isn't it? Sir, don't you agree that whatever she's saying, I mean, the manifestation, positive affirmations, or just the stress translating into something, adverse. Uh, these are all things we come across day in and day out. But the thing is that you worked on it. You worked on
Yeah,
it and created this beautiful this resource which so many women are benefiting from. So kudos to you. Kudos to you. Look,
Means how can it be accessed to the people at large beyond the metro, beyond the private?
yes, ma'am. And even if they follow whatever has been created, no, it's actually quite enough. I had one patient who just messaged me about a month back. She was in Kolkata, and I mean, very few mothers actually have normal deliveries in Kolkata. This is what they tell me, that it's very rare. She was on phone. She was on phone with me, and she was listening to me and my affirmation. And she said, "Ma'am, I'm having pains." I said, "Please go." So, "Ma'am, I'm very comfortable. My baby is responding beautifully. I will go in the end, because if I go, I will not be able to deliver normally. And I am so sure that I will deliver normally. I'm definitely." And as soon as I reached there, I said, "I don't want to take any onus, my dear. Please go. I have no idea. I'm sitting miles away from you. It is totally your responsibility." She said, "Yes, ma'am, it is my responsibility. So many women are delivering in villages. I know it is my responsibility." So, anyways, then when she was in good labor, she went. She was 7 centimeters there when she went. In about an hour, She had done all her practices and everything, and she delivered. And she said, "Ma'am, just listening to you, your books and your videos, I was so confident that I will deliver." Women need to support women. And right now, in our own soul capacity and an obstetrician, the patient is only looking at us for that support. Because we, as one women, are the whole community for that woman in a metro.
Yeah.
So we have to feel like that first. We have to be totally invested in it. You know, WHO said that any single obstetrician, if she's actually doing good ethical obstetric practice, cannot deliver more than 30 to 40 deliveries in a month. She cannot.
Yeah. True.
But this was WHO. Even if it's not about doing a cesarean in the end, if they are connected all through with themselves and their baby, doing a cesarean also, they will heal better, and the postpartum phase is also stronger. So this birth psychology is not just bonding or making the child's personality better. It is also creating a large shift in the parent psychology. So many of my parents said, "Ma'am, we were fighting so much before pregnancy. With this whole program, I think we have bonded together. Because now for baby where we were so bonded, no, now we feel happier with each other." Honestly, I'm telling you this. And this was not, this is not recent.
Success of your program. I think Durgada sir would be very interested to know how can professional bodies like KSOGA support integrating birth psychology into CME guidelines and, just getting it
Yeah.
to uh, most of our obstetricians.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, don't you think?
I think, sir, at my end only, I so many times think I should be creating some training modules, you know, like a TOT type of a thing, where uh, we all are basically, we all are like that. We just need to fine tune it, and we need to, the other paramedical staff also, no, we need to just share that whole, doing
Yeah,
workshops
yeah.
or giving them some material. They also need to be sensitized. See,
Yeah.
honestly, I'm
Sir,
telling you,
let's take it
Aruna.
up, sir.
Yeah. Uh, Wonderful work. Okay. See, I'm really impressed by the things you have taken it forward. There are two aspects.
Yeah.
One aspect with respect to the patient, one aspect to the practicing
Yes.
obstetricians.
Yes.
With respect to the practicing obstetricians, just now told, we see 30, 40 patients a day
Yes.
in middle with the cesareans and gynec work
With
in
OT
between.
so much.
Can we
Absolutely.
spend so much of time
No,
and
sir.
how to implement these concepts, though we know how to concept and implement these things and pass on to our patients on one side. The other side, with respect to the patients, to tell you frankly, every patient knows that
Yes.
stress is the thing.
But
They should not be stressed during pregnancy.
Yes, sir.
And by having so much of stress, that will be percolated to the offspring and future into the future upcoming child.
Yeah.
But they cannot come out of it. To tell you frankly, unless we being obstetricians hold their hand. I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. The two concepts are, one is in the middle of our busy practice. How can we incorporate that? Should we have antenatal classes or something of that sort? Like, what to do with the? How can we implement? Though we know we want to implement to our patients, how can we do in the middle of this practice? Second thing, with respect to the patient, they know this. They're doing wrong. Like, they have a fight with their in-laws, they have a fight with their
Yeah, yeah.
husband, or they're getting depressed for no reason. Like
For
maybe
no reason also.
in their job
Mm.
place, on workplaces or
Absolutely.
anything. Once we say, to the extent they start crying in our consultation chamber, to tell
Yes.
you very frankly,
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
they'll
Yes,
be
sir.
with tears, but it's very difficult for them to come out of that shell. Will you please uh, share the things? How can we do, and how can we hold hand with our patients? This message I want to spread to across the KSOGA family. Like every obstetrician, they want to incorporate these things.
Yeah.
Please.
So we are doing it. At least I have done it. I keep doing that. And it has improved. But with them coming with us, standing hand in hand, it will really create a very huge impact. That will help us. And the resources they will, anyways, we have to tell them that spend 15 minutes. I tell them, listen to one meditation. It is about 7-8 minutes. Read one story on Monday. Read the moral and the activity on Tuesday. Then talk to the baby, that womb conversation. Read what you are saying to the baby on Wednesday. It is like I've put on my video also, YouTube video, baby bonding kit. And so this is all what we can do. Even WHO is saying we should have qualitative analysis of patient experience on pregnancy and childbirth, breastfeeding
Yes.
rates, postpartum depression, and we can just create one good questionnaire. Honestly, I've created it also, but how to collate so much, even with my own passion also, I don't get it filled with my patient because of it's just that some things just don't happen, but I'm so much in space to do it. I mean, a set of standardized questionnaire, if we can all share. Give them the links, let them use. Some may use 10%, some may use 50, some may use 100. And then just circulate after delivery, circulate that, one questionnaire and collect the data and see, is there any difference? That is all what we can do as evidence. When we
True,
talk together, four
true.
of us, there is so much that emerges from inside.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Kasturi, ma'am.
Yeah, really, yeah, amazing journey, and so much you have helped not just this generation, generations and generation. This will help in creating a very healthy society
Yeah,
with this thing,
absolutely.
really healthy society. So this should be which everybody should think of starting this. So I'm sure your podcast inspires all the Kasogians to start this, at least to some extent, whatever little time and all. Then they can make use of your videos, your books, and then start training their paramedical and start implementing in everybody's practice. This will make a
Yeah.
huge impact in the society. I know. Yes. Thank you so much
Yes.
for being a part of this. Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
True, true. Absolutely. Well said, madam. So that what a really incredibly insightful and inspiring conversation we've had today on Prerna Patha. Our heartfelt thanks to Dr. Nitika Sopti for sharing her profound wisdom, passion for birth psychology, and the incredible work that she's doing with the Virtue Baby program. Putting thoughts into action is something that not everybody can do, but she's already done that and proven beyond doubt that, it's a matter of action, putting it out there. Her sites truly underscore the power of conscious conception and mindful pregnancy. I think we've explored everything from the scientific basis, but also the emotional aspects and the spiritual aspects to practical tools for expectant parents and the vital role that the entire family plays in nurturing a positive prenatal environment. Dr. Neetika, your dedication to holistic care and is truly a beacon for all of us in the medical community and for parents everywhere.
Thank you
We,
so
to our
much.
listeners, I hope this episode has offered you new perspectives and actionable takeaways from for our own journeys. Whether you're a expectant mother, a healthcare professional, an obstetrician, or simply someone interested in the miracle of life, thank you for tuning in to Prerna Patha. Join us next time for another enriching session. And to Dr. Nitika, thank you very much for having, spent an hour of your valuable time, more than
Thank
an
you
hour,
so
15 minutes
much.
of your valuable time
More
with
time.
us, and wishing you all the very best in all your future endeavors.
Thank you so
I wanted your voice to be heard by Kasogians. Each and every obstetrician should know about this. It's not only examining a patient on the couch and writing the prescriptions. There is something beyond that especially in our field, which you have conveyed. I can make out the passion the way you are expressing. You do it and execute it. There's a way you convey the things to the public, to the obstetricians as well as the patients. Kasoga really thanks you from the bottom of my
Thank you,
heart
sir. Thank you.
for spending such a long time with us, and all the best for your future endeavor. And
Thank you, sir.
let this be a fruitful podcast to all the Kasoga family. Thank you once
Sure.
again.
Sure, sir. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. It has been a real pleasure because it's very important for me also to be inspired, to keep doing it because in one important thing which I would just like to end with, which I as an obstetrician did not have any idea about, I want to share it, and I think we should be just talking about it someday, is something which is birth trauma and something which is called as birth healing. I never thought that a child is going to remember everything what has happened to us. And if by 1.5 years it will remember, at least 10 to 15% do remember, or at least in their subconscious will definitely remember. And that is going to create a lot of their pattern and destiny of life. But when I listen to them, I listen to quite a few speakers, birth psychologists. Whenever you have time, you just tune in, because how the child is born and how we give birth, these two things are similar and different. And we will always and always welcome our child whenever we bring the child into this world. And if supposing it's a tough delivery, I also say, I'm sorry, dear, if I brought you with force. You are very safe and secure. That actually they told me this to be done. It should be done. And I started doing it. Outside there, they have birth healing centers where they repair the difficult birth patterns, if they've had any, by plays and by tunnel games and everything. So at least we are not doing any of such things, but we as obstetricians should know that how we are bringing our children, it is creating an impact for them. So this aspect, first we will take care of the 9 months,
Yeah.
take care of our personal journeys, and
Yes.
then take it from there, sir. And I'm really happy to be a part of this actually prerna for me also and for everybody, because when we all collect together, we can create miracles together.
True. Well said. Thank you very much indeed.